Let us start with the third special function, which is called your fractional part function. Fractional part function. How we denote this? We denote this thing like this, in the curly bracket. Now let me just tell you one thing. In the problem, if they don't mention that this bracket is your fractional part function or this bracket is your greatest integer function, then you treat those brackets as your normal brackets. Because generally whenever they give you this greatest integer function or the fractional part function, they will always mention that this is the greatest integer function and this is the fractional part function. Otherwise treat this thing as a normal bracket. Very important point to be noted. Okay, what do you mean by fractional part function? Think about it. As the name implies, fractional part function means if I tell you what is fractional part of 2.3, fractional part of 2.3 is nothing but your 0.3. Tell me yes or no. Am I correct? So fractional part of 2.3 is nothing but 0.3 only. Suppose if I tell you what is the fractional part of, say, 3.25, you will say the fractional part is nothing but 0.25, right? If I tell you what is the fractional part of 3, is there any fractional part? No. So in that case your answer will be 0. Now one thing we are always getting here, fractional part means the fraction. Your fraction always lies between 0 and 1. So that is the first formula that we are getting. Your fractional part of x always lies between 0 and 1. That is the first one we got. Is it clear? Now one thing for sure, that your fractional part of x can be equals to 0. Fractional part of x can be equals to 0 when x is an integer. We can write it as a second formula also. Your fractional part of x can be written as 0 when x belongs to an integer. Is it clear to all of you? Absolutely? Okay. Now suppose if I tell you what is the fractional part of 2.42, you will simply say the answer is 0.42. But a very interesting thing we can get from here is that if I say fractional part of 2.42, to get the value 0.42, can we write in this way? It's 2.42 minus 2 will give you the answer as 0.42. That is what I want to say is, if this x, here x is lying between 2 and 3, so your fractional part of x is nothing but that x minus 2. Is it clear? That is what I want to say. If I write that your x is lying from n and n plus 1, let us say for an example, if x lies between n and n plus 1, then you will write your fractional part of x as x minus n. Is it clear? You can check any value. Let us come for 1.25. Let us say, what is the fractional part of this? Obviously the answer will be 0.25. But think in a different way. This can be written as 1.25 minus 1. Answer is again 0.25. Why it is so? Because 1.25 lies between 1 and 2. Therefore, fractional part of 1.25 is nothing but 1.25 minus 1. That's exactly what I have written there. Is it clear to all of you? Okay. So this is the third formula that we have established. Anything more? Let us say 4.25. Just now we have considered this. What is the fractional part of this? Your answer is 0.25. Think about it. If I add 1 over here, what will be your answer? Same answer. If I give you 10 over here, same answer, because 10 plus 4.25 will give you 14.25. The fractional part will not change. Fractional part will remain same. Even if you add 100, again the fractional part remains same. That is what I want to say is, if you add integers over here, it will not affect the answer of fractional part. That is, the fourth formula that we can establish is fractional part of x plus any integer, I is an integer, x plus I will always give you the fractional part of x. Is this clear to everybody? Hello? Clear to everybody? Okay. Now, one thing very important is that any number in this universe, any real number, can always be written as its integer part plus its fractional part. कोई भी number ले लो, any number you choose, it can always be written as its integral part plus its fractional part. Is it clear? Any number. 2.23, think about it. Box of 2.23 plus the fractional part of 2.23. Tell me. Box of 2.23 will give you 2, and for this it will give you 0.23. So answer is again 2.23. Is it clear? So the fifth point that we got very important is any x, any number can be written as box of x plus fractional part of x. Is it clear to everybody? Absolutely? Okay. Now, think x is box x plus fractional part of x. So fractional part of x can be written as, what we can write? Fractional part of x can be written as x minus box x. Now let me just replace x by minus x. So what we are getting? Fractional part of minus x will give you what? Minus x minus box of minus x. Is it clear? Here x does not belongs to an integer. Okay? Integer होगा तो directly answer ही हमको मिल जाएगा, because fractional part of minus 2, it will give you what? Fractional part of minus 2 will give you what? What is the integral part? The integral part is 0 in this case. Yes or no? Okay. So x does not belongs to an integer in this case. Is it clear? Now you see, minus x minus, since x is not an integer, so box of minus x can be written as what? Box of minus x can be written as minus box x minus 1. Can you remember? I taught you. This can be written as minus of box x minus 1 when x does not belongs to an integer. So I have replaced box of minus x as minus of box x minus 1. Now open the bracket. So we are getting what? X minus box x is nothing but fractional part of x. So it is coming to 1 minus fractional part of x. Is it clear? So fractional part of minus x can always be written as 1 minus fractional part of x. Very, very important property. Fractional part of minus x can be written as 1 minus fractional part of x. That is, if I ask you, what will be the value of fractional part of say minus 2.3? Your answer will be not 0.3. That's wrong. Is it clear? So fractional part of minus 2.3 will be nothing but 1 minus fractional part of 2.3, which is nothing but 1 minus 0.3, that gives you 0.7. Is it clear to all of you? Have you understood this? So the sixth property we have to remember in case of fractional part function.